An empire that ruled centuries, ended in chaos. Empires that vanished overnight. The fall of the Roman Empire. For centuries, the Roman Empire stood as one of the greatest powers the world had ever known. Stretching across Europe, North Africa, and parts of the Middle East, it was a symbol of strength, organization, and cultural achievement. Roads connected distant provinces, laws governed millions of people, and cities flourished under Roman influence. To many, Rome seemed eternal, an empire destined to last forever. And yet, despite its power, it eventually fell. Not in a single dramatic moment, but through a slow and complex process that can feel, in hindsight, as sudden as an empire vanishing overnight. At its height, Rome was unmatched. Its military was disciplined and formidable, capable of defending vast borders and expanding into new territories. The empire's administrative system allowed it to manage diverse populations, integrating different cultures while maintaining a sense of unity. Latin language, Roman law, and engineering innovations spread across continents, leaving a lasting legacy that still shapes the modern world. But beneath this strength, cracks were already beginning to form. One of the most significant challenges facing the Roman Empire was its sheer size. Governing such a vast territory required immense resources and coordination. Communication was slow, and local issues could escalate before central authorities could respond. Over time, this made it increasingly difficult to maintain control and stability across the empire. Political instability also played a crucial role in Rome's decline. Leadership was often contested, with emperors rising and falling through intrigue, assassination, or military rebellion. This constant struggle for power weakened the central government and diverted attention away from pressing external threats. Instead of focusing on long-term stability, leaders were often preoccupied with securing their own positions. Economic troubles further strained the empire. Maintaining a large army, funding public works, and supporting the population required substantial resources. As expansion slowed, the flow of wealth from conquered territories diminished. At the same time, heavy taxation placed a burden on citizens, particularly farmers and small landowners. Inflation and currency devaluation added to the instability, eroding confidence in the economic system. The division of the empire into eastern and western halves was intended to make governance more manageable. The Eastern Roman Empire, centered in Constantinople, remained relatively stable and prosperous. The Western Roman Empire, however, faced increasing challenges. Its borders were more exposed, and it struggled to defend against growing external pressures. Among the most significant of these pressures were the movements of various groups often referred to as barbarians by the Romans. Tribes such as the Visigoths, Vandals, and Ostrogoths migrated across Europe, sometimes seeking refuge, sometimes pursuing conquest. These movements were not random. They were influenced by larger forces, including the expansion of the Huns, whose incursions pushed other groups into Roman territory. At first, Rome attempted to manage these groups through diplomacy, alliances, and integration. Some were allowed to settle within the empire in exchange for military service. However, tensions often arose, particularly when agreements were broken or resources became scarce. One of the most dramatic moments came in 410 CE, when the Visigoths, led by Alaric I, sacked the city of Rome. It was a shocking event, as the city had not fallen to a foreign enemy in centuries. Although the empire continued to exist, the psychological impact of this decline was profound. As the 5th century progressed, the Western Roman Empire became increasingly fragile. Provinces broke away or fell under the control of local rulers. The central government struggled to maintain authority, and the once powerful military was weakened by internal divisions and reliance on foreign soldiers. In 476 CE, a Germanic chieftain named Odoacer deposed the last Western Roman emperor, Romulus Augustulus. This event is often marked as the official end of the Western Roman Empire. Yet, the idea that the empire vanished overnight is somewhat misleading. While the political structure of the Western Empire collapsed, many aspects of Roman life continued. Laws, traditions, and cultural practices persisted in the kingdoms that replaced Roman rule. The Eastern Roman Empire, later known as the Byzantine Empire, continued to thrive for nearly another 1,000 years, preserving and adapting Roman heritage. The fall of Rome was not caused by a single factor, but by a combination of internal weaknesses and external pressures. Political instability, economic decline, military challenges, and social parabarbarism all contributed to the gradual unraveling of the empire. These factors interacted in complex ways, creating a situation in which recovery became increasingly difficult. Climate and environmental factors may also have played a role. Changes in temperature and agricultural productivity could have affected food supplies and population stability. Disease, including plagues, further reduced the population and strained resources. While these elements are less visible than battles or political events, they may have significantly influenced the course of history. But its relevance, it raises questions about the sustainability of large, complex societies. How do empires maintain stability over long periods? Rome's legacy did not end with its fall. Its influence can be seen in modern legal systems, languages, architecture, and political ideas. The concept of a republic, the development of codified law, and the spread of Christianity were all shaped by the Roman experience. Even after the empire's political, its cultural and intellectual contributions continued to shape the world. The phrase, empires that vanished overnight, captures the dramatic contrast between Rome's former glory and its eventual decline. But the reality is more nuanced. The fall of the Roman Empire was a process, a slow transformation rather than a sudden disappearance. It reminds us that even the most powerful civilizations are not immune to change. In the end, the story of Rome is both a warning and a lesson. It shows how strength can mask underlying weaknesses, how complexity can become a burden, and how resilience can give way under pressure. But it also demonstrates the enduring power of ideas and culture, which can outlast even the greatest of empires. As we look back on the fall of the Roman Empire, we are not just examining a distant past, we are exploring themes that remain relevant today. The rise and fall of civilizations is a pattern repeated throughout history, and Rome stands as one of its most powerful examples. Its story continues to captivate, not because it ended, but because of what it reveals about the nature of human societies and the forces that shape them.